Alright, everything should be good. So, hello and welcome to a new stream in which I'm building a city in Classic. As you can see, we have finally returned and I'm in version 0.30. Oh, let me just take care of something quickly. I just noticed. There we go. Anyway, in this stream we are going to just walk around the world, check out the things that my friends have built while I was away working on the Indev island. I just take care of various things. Anyway, the first thing that we are going to check out once I get out of this hole is the Nuts building, which was built by Steelcat. You might have heard of him. He does like stream. More recently, he's been doing streams for all the Legacy Plus mods. I believe today he streamed Betacraft. Anyway, here's the build that he built, which is a Nuts building, which looks like a giant peanut. And on the inside there isn't really all that much, or just seems to be a desk for someone where you can sit, and some glass above it for a glass roof. Anyway, before I move on from this, there is one thing that I like to do, which is to place some blocks below these leaves. That's so these leaves don't decay in future versions. I wouldn't want that after all. Maybe want some placed on all of this dirt. I mean, all of these logs I'm going to move on, because I've said I want to take care of some miscellaneous things, and now it's kind of strange being in Classic once again. There are some things that I'm not used to after I've been playing Indev. For example, the fact that when you place down blocks you don't hear any sounds, only when you break them or when you walk, of course. Anyway, I've got some plans as to what I like to do now that I'm back in the Classic world. One of the things that I like to do is to, what we say, somewhat big build, that being a research facility, which I plan to build in that corner over there where the lighthouse is. I'll talk more about that in, well, later on the stream. That's because now we are approaching another build. Well, I was about to say we are approaching the casino, but there's actually another build. We just built a pie desalinator. It's something simple that I just appeared in when I loaded up the world after I got it from him. Anyway, next to it we got this casino, which was built by Soybean56. Now, if you've watched videos by Soybean56 in some time ago, then you might recognize this build, as this is a replica of the Classic Plus casino from the Classic Plus City project. I believe that's what it was called. We've also got some of the cars that were present in the project. But yeah, this is the replica of the Classic Plus casino. Just we're going to kind of take a look around. Here we got some of the kids corner. I guess some sort of a lounge area where people can sit. Over here we got a kitchen, so I guess this part would be like a diner where people can eat their food. We've got some screens where I guess the menu would be displayed. Then we go here, like I said, we got the kitchen, we've got some water. I guess this is the place where the food would be cooked. I guess we got some lava or something they can use to cook. here is another spot where you can eat, and I just remembered something. There we go. Anyway, yeah, here you can eat, and here is the casino part. We got like various tables. Here, for example, could be the roulette. Maybe this could be a blackjack table, poker table, and such. I don't really know all the games that are played in a casino. And over here we get the slot machines and a big sign that says 0.30. I believe in the original Classic Plus Casino it said like Classic Plus or just C Plus or something like that. And if we go upstairs, we can see they got like a chandelier, some lights, and not sure what these obsidian blocks are supposed to represent. And we can also see some more screens. So yeah, quite a nice build. And this, not sure what this is. It's quite nice. And also just remember that, you know, we've got some accessible slot. I mean the handicap spots. Anyway. Right next to the casino we got some other well, got 2 builds by Solanator, those being this apartment complex and also the that, which just reminds me that I forgot to, you know, show the submarine as I was walking away from the nuts building. As you can see, the water was raised in this area, so we get a bit of a glass dam over here. Also built by Solanator, you know. He also built this submarine, which you can't really access, and I mean you can't really access the inside of the submarine, but that's fine. There isn't really anything on the inside, and you can also see there's something below the submarine, some sort of a storage area, which we are going to visit soon. Anyway, right now I'm going to the other side of the dam, where we've even got some outlet pipes, or whatever we would call them. You know, we got water flowing out of the dam, which needs to be in a dam, otherwise it would just flood everything. Anyway, that has been the submarine and the dam. So now we are going to check out the underground area, which is quite large, as you are going to soon see. I also plan to build like an underground area with the research facility that I plan to build in the future. However, I'm not sure if it will be quite as big as this one. Also, as you can see, we got this sort of area of planks and glass and some leaves, and that gives like light to the underground area. But anyway, if we go down this staircase, you can see this small room through which we can look down into a very big room, which is Solanator dug out. And over here we got some like corridors that just lead kind of all over the place. If you continue going straight, and then we can go left and just go back to the room we've just visited, or we can go down and go into the massive room that Solanator has dug out. I quite like this. It kind of reminds me of some spaces that you might see inside of the mega structures that you see inside of sci-fi. You know, we got like flame, or I believe it's supposed to be pronounced as blam. Then you got like Lawrence Lore and some, you know, other games, stories that feature these megastructures. And there are also like several levels of these walkways, which you can reach through the of corridors from the staircases that are here. And if we go even lower, we got this level. And we can go all the way down to the lowest level and just admire the size of it. I'm not sure what will I do with this place. But I suspect probably nothing to kind of keep the atmosphere of it. And also you may notice that this room goes all the way down to the fake bedrock. This isn't actually real bedrock, this is just like an invisible wall with the bedrock texture, which means that once I import this world into the Indev world, there will be only void below this glass. Anyway, now I want to go back. I believe we should be able to reach a corridor somewhere over here. Or not. Oh right, there is the entrance that I was talking about on the other side. And if we use this staircase, then we can just go up and go back to the room where we started. Anyway, as you can see, quite a few cool builds were built while I was away, so I'm glad that I've invited them to build in my world. But anyway, one of the reasons why we are returning to this room is because there was actually, you can use it to access another staircase, which actually leads to the warehouse area underneath the submarine. Here it is. I call it the warehouse area, but I'm not actually sure what it's supposed to be. Never asked. It's not really important. I just think it's kind of a warehouse, storage area, since we got some like bricks and these planks here. I feel like they might be stored here. And we've also got this sort of entrance which leads to a cave. That doesn't really lead to anything, it just kind of ends abruptly. Not sure why is it here, but it's here, so yeah. Anyway, moving on, we are going to take a look at the apartment building, which is also very big, and it has got like a whole bunch of apartments. Although all of them are empty, so I guess the future tenants or the people who will like buy these apartments will have to buy their own, bring their own furniture. As you can see, when we enter, we got a staircase right at the entrance, and then we got a corridor which leads to these rooms. As you can see, as I've said, each of them is empty and seems to have like a TV, or I guess not all of them got this TV out of obsidian. I think it's TV. Some of these have got like a window with a balcony instead. I wonder which one is the better options. Probably the balcony, to actually have access to natural light, because some of these don't have access to natural light, which probably isn't good. And also we got some bricks above. I guess it could be like some air conditioning or something. And over here we got an entrance which leads out into this lake, which I'm going to modify. I kind of don't like how it's floating a bit, so I will add something to the back of this building to kind of make it look more interesting. And yeah, when it comes to these rooms, they are all of them are like mostly the same. And there was like several stories to this place. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 5 floor plus the roof, which has got these. I guess these could be like air conditioning units for power the air conditioning. Not really sure. But yeah, as I have said, all of the rooms or on all of the floors are like mostly the same. There isn't really any variation, which is like fine, you know. This is how apartments usually are, since it's easier to build this way. And I feel like this place also has a nice view of the city, you know, from these balconies. Over here you can see the theme park and the casino. If we go over to the other side, up to that side over there, we got a nice view of the hotel area and also the unfinished area over there, since I plan to build like a monorail, large monorail station. Anyway, we get quite a nice view of the hotel area, as I said. And if we go over to the other side, we will have a nice view of the other areas as well. So if we go here, you know, we got the church, which was built by Marriage I'm gonna show in a moment. Share a bit later. The construction site, town hall, and the other finished areas. You know, from this place, it almost looks like the city is entirely finished, but there are still some unfinished places even here. Like, for example, I want to add some more trees to this area and stuff like that. I feel like this balcony probably has the best view, I'd say. Yeah, I quite like this view. Yeah, we get the area that I worked on in 0.0.15a, then the area that I worked on in 19a, here the hotel area with the, you know, greenhouse, and overall I'd say it's quite nice. But, you know, stuff like the lake still needs to be finished. I kind of don't like how the stone looks at the bottom, so I'm gonna need to work on that, but that's something that I'm gonna do another time, you know, maybe off stream, we'll see. But first I'm gonna need to decide what I actually want to do with the lake. By the way, time to go down, which I just remember that I don't really need to worry about fall damage, so I can just, you know, jump down from the balcony. Oh, I need to go to the other side actually, because on the other side there is something that I actually want to do. There's like a patch of sand that I want to remove, because I don't really want 2 patches of sand that I want to remove. Although, you know what, I think that rather than working on this right now, I'm going to save this location, do all of the other builds, and then work on the actual building that I want to do. Anyway, as I've said earlier, the next building that we are going to visit is this church that was built by Marriage. As you can see, it's quite a simple church. You know, we got some benches where people can sit, an area for like where children can play. It's like the base stone, like, or whatever it's called, you know, the thing you have when you start building. And over here we got a hidden station of gold. I wonder why is it even there. I wonder why would the priest hide it there. Anyway, that's something that you can figure out yourself. Anyway, we got a parking spot. Not sure if you saw, but over there is another build, a sandcastle. But before we go there, we're going to visit the farm and this decorative building. Once again, not really sure what is this supposed to represent, but you know, we got some leaves over here and seems to be just kind of purely decorative, kind of like some sort of a statue or sculpture. Well, I say decorative, like everything in this world is decorative, but like it kind of doesn't look like it would serve any purpose in real life, unlike for example this windmill. And if you go inside, we got a bit of an underground room with a bit of a checkerboard pattern using the light from the above. Anyway, quite nice. And next bit we got the farm with a windmill, which has got like nothing on the inside, in case you're wondering. And then we get this place of farm, we got some pens, I guess, for animals. This barn with some, pens for the animals. Not sure what is upstairs, I guess. Yeah, probably nothing really. We got some water for the animals. And if we go next to it, we got a field with wheat, I guess. And a silo with some, wheat stored. I guess it could be wheat. Now, if we go right, there was the farm itself. Now on to the next thing, which is the sandcastle that I've mentioned, and there's also like a graveyard next to the sandcastle, so we're going to check both of these out. Also, I forgot to mention that the farm, like the whole farm and this building and the sandcastle and the graveyard were all built by Zalnator. He did most of the building here. Anyway, yeah, this is the sandcastle. As you can see, it's a little sandcastle. Except for the fact that it also uses like glass to support the sand, since unlike more modern versions, we don't have like torches or maybe the tripwire to hold up the sand. And if we go inside, you can see there isn't too much to it, but still, quite a nice building. I'm gonna need to build some sort of a path that leads towards this, and also towards this graveyard that we got here. As you can see, you got quite a few graves. But yeah, I believe those have been all of the builds that were built by others. Let me just quickly make a pillar up to check. And yeah, I believe I've done everything, We got the nuts building, the submarine, the underground area, the apartment complex, the casino, the church, the sandcastle, and the graveyard. Those have been all of the buildings that have been built by others, which means that now that I've shown them, it is time to start working on the things that I want them to work on, and also talk about some other stuff. Now, one of the things that I want sorry, one of the things that I want to talk about is the research facility that I mentioned earlier. Basically, my plan for the research facility, as I've said earlier, I want to build it in the corner where the lighthouse with the lava is. My plan is kind of like an above ground part and like a below ground part, where I will have like some of the some test chambers, kind of like Half-Life, I guess. And those test chambers will be like various things, various tests, various research that might be done, like things that will be things that are being researched. For example, I plan to have a chamber with a nether portal. I plan to build like an obsidian frame that I will light once I get to Alpha 1.2. I also plan to have like an nether portal, nether portal as well, but before that I also plan to have like an end portal there, because I plan to play the beta 1.9 pre-releases, and those give you like the end portal frames, so I plan to place those in the research facility. So I'm gonna like make a test chamber for that, and I also plan to like build some portals as references to the various I say various, like probably only a few mods. I've mentioned the Adder mod. I plan to be like the close Adder portal as reference to that, and maybe like a portal to the Twilight Forest. And now that I'm done replacing the sand, I'm going to start replacing this turret. I'm going to start replacing it with this green wall. Okay. Alright, the next thing I wanted to mention is that in those chambers there will be like various equipment, like kind of like how you had the anti-mass spectrometer in the test chamber in Half-Life. So I will have something like that, and I guess some windows into some observation rooms, kind of like you had in Half-Life, or like the observation rooms that you had in Pearl. Well, there wasn't really anyone there, but they were there. Which also means that I'm gonna need to build some hallways, like a big hallway that would lead to the test chambers, and like smaller hallways that would lead to the observation rooms, because I don't think they'll need to be quite big. And the reason why I want those hallways to be big is because I feel like they might need to be used to transport materials, so things can be repaired or built. Also, there is one more place where there is some dirt, which is underneath one of the balloons. Seems like something happened with my second screen. Very cool. Anyway, one other thing that I want to do is to build like a giant lift, a cargo lift. Because you need some way to transport materials into the underground facility. I'm kind of thinking of like I'm thinking that for the underground facility I'm going to build like 2 underground floors. And since I'll be transforming, since I'll have a cargo lift, I'll also need like a warehouse to store the cargo somewhere underground. Okay, now that I've got this, the next thing I want to do is build some custom trees around this place. I don't want it to be quite this barren. But as I mentioned, I want to build some sort of a storage room. Well, a very big one. I'm kind of considering making like 2 floors tall. I think that sort of size should be good. Anyway, there will be also some other test chambers, others like rooms where research will be done. For example, we can have like some chemistry laboratories with the cauldrons. Maybe I could like add them in the future, or maybe I could just make them make a chemistry room without the cauldrons and brewing stand, and just pretend that we got some like brewing chemistry equipment there. And I also would like to build some test chambers which like include sponges to kind of check how they will behave in the future, because currently sponges kind of hold back water. I kind of want to know what happens to the water that is being held back in the future once we get to the versions where the sponges no longer work. By the way, I want the next tree to be over here. I have a different one, this sort of shape. So yeah, I want to build a research facility in the future, which also means that I will build some other facilities around it. Like I'd like to build some satellite dishes, I think, around the place. I'll also need like some a parking lot, so that the employees who work there can park there. And what more would I want to build? So the music's not playing. No, I feel like it's just something quiet. But anyway, as I was saying, I'll need to build some. I also want to build some other facilities. There are the stuff. And once I get enough stuff, I might build some stuff around it, since I planned for this city to be kind of in the middle of the ocean. So I guess I could build a port next to the facility, and just make it look like it's being used to transport the various things in and out of the facility. Maybe some material that would be used in the facility, or or just stuff that is being produced that would be exported out of it. But yeah, there is still a lot of space where there can be built in this city. So I've still got a lot of things that I could potentially build in the future. So who knows how long it will take until this city is finished. I've started this. I started working on this city last July, and now it's once again July, which means that it's been it's been basically exactly a year. I started on the 19th and now it's 25th, so yeah, it's been a year since I started working on this city, although I've only worked on it like 5 months after I started working on it, because after that, I worked on the Indev world. I must say that today is not quite my day. It's only been about 37 minutes and I'm already feeling kind of tired. I guess that's because I kind of went to bed late yesterday, or rather, I should say that I went to bed today early in the morning. Not sure exactly it did I go to sleep. It was the day. That makes sense. I went to bed up after midnight, but I feel like I've probably explained it too much. But wait, I feel like I should modify this a bit. Yeah, this looks a bit better. Anyway, one more tree over here, I guess, a smaller one. I feel like larger ones wouldn't fit here. But anyway, what I was about to say is, I kind of went to bed late, so I guess now I'm feeling tired thanks to that, since I didn't get enough sleep today. And the reason why I kind of went to bed late was because I was kind of working on my website, on the NeoCities, the NeoCities thing. Not trying to make something work. I was working a bit of a image gallery using like JavaScript, because the reason why I did it was because until now the way I'm still displaying images on my website is like kind of like a kind of dumb temple of like the kind of just dumb them. I basically have like I think I should start all over again. Basically, the way that I got my website set up is that I've got like various pages dedicated to various projects. Like, for example, a website dedicated to this volleyball project, which leads to like websites dedicated to the individual world. Like, for example, a website for this classic world, a website for the Indev world, and for the classic world I got like a map which divides this world into different sections, and you can click each of these sections and it will take you to some text which describes those sections, and right below the description there is like a oh, there are some images and basically a gallery. And basically the way that I've got currently it set up currently is that the images are placed there, which means that like the more images there are, the more space the gallery takes up, which I kind of don't like. So I decided to make a bit of a smarter gallery where instead of displaying multiple images at once, it only displays a single image where you got like some buttons underneath where if you press them the image changes, so you can kind of go through the images that show the section that is being described. I feel like it's better than just showing all the images at once. So I was just basically setting that up yesterday evening, and it took me quite a while because, you know, I didn't really know how to debug it on the like neon cities thing that you have, you know, basically the place where you build stuff. So it took me quite a while to do things because I had to figure out why certain things weren't working, but in the end I've managed to make it work, and I made it kind of, should I say, modular? No. Basically what I'm trying to say is that, as I've mentioned earlier, you got the single image with the buttons that just switch the image, and you know, the buttons have to call some functions, and I made it so that the functions can be used for some other galleries, or so that I can have like multiple galleries in the same place, because whenever I like load up, whenever I use the button, the website has to somehow get like the name of the image file, which means that like various projects that are like various image file names, and like the file paths are different, so I kind of made it work with the different file names and file paths, which took me a while because, you know, I'm an amateur. I believe that someone competent could probably do it very easily, very quickly, but I'm not one of those people. Anyway, now I want to work on displays. And let's see, what should I do? Well, I think the first thing is to add some stuff below this. I guess I could add a sapling, kind of think that will grow in here, and then some flowers, and I guess a custom tree over here, smaller one since there isn't enough space. But yeah, as I just mentioned, I'm still working on the website. Hopefully it should soon be in a state where it's like ready enough to be shown to others, or ready enough to be like announced on this channel, because the goal of this website is kind of act like sort of bonus content for this channel, since, you know, I talk about the projects that I do on this channel in more detail. So it's basically bonus content for those who are interested, kind of like you got the developer's commentary or like director's commentary on some stuff. Anyway, let's see, those have been, yeah, that's some stuff on below this place, and now some trees over here. I do not want to look at it, I don't think I needed to cut down those trees. I think I will plant some trees like over here, I guess. Oh, I think I will make it a bit cut the terrain a bit. There we go, and now I plant a tree over here. Over here probably not that. Over here I'll build a smaller one. But anyway, what I was about to say is that hopefully the website will be soon in a good enough state. I was about to say, finish, but it's never finished since the projects that are being worked on. So in the future I will add more and more content, and if I start another project, another like larger project, then I will add another website dedicated to the project. And of course there's like always room to improve the website as I learn new things. By the way, as I was about to say, hopefully the website will soon be in a good enough state where I decide to announce it. There are currently 2 things remaining for me to finish. The first being is to kind of add like a description of the website as a whole to the main page, and also to kind of finish another page, which is I'm currently working on a page for the collection that I got in my Minecraft Infinite world, formerly Indev world. Since the mod has been rebranded, it used to be called Indev Plus, but now it's called Minecraft Infinite, as some of you might know. And right now it is time to continue building these trees. Here we got another one, so this means that this one is too close, and I guess I'm gonna build a tree here, but I will build one here. I think that will be the last tree for this sort of area. Yeah, I think this will be the last one. And I think I'll make this one a bit bigger. There we go. And I just need to add some flowers to this. Also, now that I've talked about like the website, about the collection, I feel like there are a few things that I should mention. The first being that the collection is like collection of like unobtainable items and like memorabilia that I got inside some chests that I've like collected as I've played the mod. And the website kind of, describes all of them. So basically you currently have got like some images of the chest GUI with the items, where you can like click each of the items and it takes you to the description of the item, where you got like the name of the item, what the item is. We got like a header showing what the item is. Then I got like an item, so for example, if you got, I don't know, one of the items is for example a damaged ice ring, so you got a header that just says ice ring, below that got like a text that says that it's a damaged ice ring. Then you get like text saying what version it was obtained, then how it was obtained, and also some note that like adds more details about the item. Like for example, for the damaged ice ring, it shows it says that the ice ring used to have durability. It says how much durability it used to have, and it says that now the ice ring doesn't have any durability. And the fact that the ice ring doesn't, that an ice ring now, sorry, I can't talk. Anyway, the fact that ice ring no longer has, ice rings in general no longer have durability means that damaged ice ring is an unobtainable item, since you can't damage them any longer. But anyways, you can see I'm currently kind of working on this wall because I want to kind of push it back a bit further so it's a bit further away from the apartment building, because I kind of don't like how close it is. So yeah, that is the collection. There are only a few things that I want to do. The first being to kind of improve the navigation of the website. Give me a second. My plan for the website is like that. At the top you will have like an image of a screenshot of the collection room with like the chests and stuff, and you will be able to like click each of the chests, and when you click those chests it will like take you to the as I've said, screenshots of the insides of the chests. Now you can like click the items, and then you will be able to like click some click some button near the image of the chest that will take you like back to the top. Which also reminds me that like for the description of the items there is also like a thing that takes you to the top, that takes you back to the chests where you came from. Also, I just realized that I should also add a block to the middle. Let's see, it's 5 blocks and this is 6 blocks. So I think I'll do it like this. But yeah, once I'm done with those two things, I'm gonna announce well, kind of announce the website on this channel in like the in a post, and also like announce it in some of the Discord servers that I'm in like self-promotion. Like for example, on the Legacy Plus server or on the 3KO Discord server, since I'm also in the Discord server and I kind of use it to talk about this project. I've kind of like shared screenshots of this project as I worked on it. You should check out 3KO if you haven't already. He's got like the History and Chunk series, which is quite a cool series, although we are currently waiting for episode 5. It's been quite a while since episode 4 was released. And right now that we are done with placing it in cobblestone, I need to place in some blocks. So let's see how wide is this. So 21 blocks. So let's see. I think I can space it out by, wait, no, I was about to say 6 blocks, but that wouldn't work. I don't think I'll space them out equally. I think I will do 4 blocks over here. So that's 5 blocks removed, so that's 16 blocks remaining. Let's see if I do 4 blocks again on this side and 4 blocks here, how much is remaining? If I do, I think I'll do 4 on each side, that's good. And you know what, I think I'll modify this spot as well. Oh, I think I will. I think I will move this over here. And I think this should be good. There we go. So yeah, that is the wall taken care of. I'm just gonna add some small decorations to it. Small decorations to this area around it. Some bushes. But two of them. I think that's... Oh, I don't think I can hit anymore. Oh no, I just place in some flowers. How are we doing? We are an hour in. I must say I kind of thought that the sort of tour at the start would take a bit longer than that. Anyway, now that we're done with this, I think I'm gonna work on the back of the building. And I think the sort of closest part to the building is gonna be out of dirt. And then next to it we'll have some sand. After all, you want one building as large as this to sit on sand. I don't know, it's going to slowly turn to grass, since grass will spread from over there. And I think I'm definitely gonna make it spread from over there as well. So give me a second. Like so. Although I'm gonna do it. I was about to say that I'm gonna do it a few blocks further away, so there wouldn't be so much shadow on the dirt, but I think that's fine. And I'm also gonna lay some dirt over here because I believe you can kind of the grass can kind of spread a few blocks down, so this should speed up the process a bit. Yeah, as you can see, there's quite a bit of space underneath the building, which I kinda don't like, so I'm gonna fill it in. Also, there's this sand, but I think I'm gonna keep it here. I don't feel like replacing it. Anyway, I'm also going to extend the dirt here a bit so that I get place where I can place out the sand. I don't think I'll add any decoration to this, so I guess you could call it a beach area, but yeah, as I was about to say, I don't think I will add any decorations to it. I don't think there's enough space for it. And I currently can't really think of anything that I would actually add to this place. But anyway, I think this should be... Oh, I was about to say that it should be after, but I think I need to make it extend a bit further in this place. At least several blocks. Oh yes, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I don't yet know what I'm gonna do with this part of the lake. One of the things that I would like to do is gonna cover the stone. Maybe I'll replace it with gravel, but otherwise I'm not really sure what I want to do with this place. I'm gonna need to decide later on. I think I got like enough time to decide on these things. Now that I think about it, I should probably use these sponges to build underwater. It would be a good idea so that I don't get slowed down because, I want to add some more dirt so that the slope isn't quite so steep. Also, earlier I've mentioned that like I should have enough time to decide on what I want to do with this lake. And uh, that I got, basically that's that I've got enough time to decide on what I want to do with this lake, which makes me wonder how much time with how much more time will I need to finish this city, and also of course how how many percent of this city is finished, how much is finished. I feel like it could be, I feel like it's at least 50%, maybe. It's gonna be hard to judge how much is finished and how long it will take me to finish everything else, because if we go to the top, which I think we cannot do faster by respawning at the top. That area over there is mostly finished. I kind of only need to do like the area where the natural generated oak trees are, where I'm currently painting. Then we get the marshland area, which is also finished. But this sort of area is mostly finished. I only need to do I only want to do something about the area between the statue and the house. So that spot over there. And for this sort of area, there are still some. I still want to add some decorations, like some custom trees, those slopes, and just add more buildings. But a lot of this is finished. And we got this lake, which I'm not really sure what I want to do, but like part of it, sort of the beach area could be considered to be finished. Then I would probably like to do something with that island. Anyway, the hotel area is mostly finished. There's only like some area behind it where I want to add some trees. And if we go over here, the construction site is finished. I just need to add some custom trees to the grassy area around it. But over there it's finished. And there's the big area behind the town hall, which is mostly unfinished. Then when it comes to this place, there's I guess some space around the church where I would like to add some more trees. Then there's the theme park, to which I like to add more trees. Then there's that area over there with the gallery and the bank, where I'd like to add another building and once again more trees around this place. Then I would like to decide what I want to do with this lake over there. If I want to keep it, gonna make it prettier, or remove it and just do something with that spot. Maybe just add some custom trees or something. And of course there's that lake over there. And there's kind of this space between the casino, the botanical shop, and the shooting range. It's a very big space, so I need to decide what I want to do with that. And also the lake. And the corner over there will be the research facility. So that basically has almost nothing in it, except for the lighthouse. And I would also like to do something about the lake that's over there. I've kind of already decorated it, so I think I would like to keep it. And also there is the more around the casino and this lake. I like to make it a bit more prettier. And there's that corner over there where I'd like to have the main station, so I need to make it more interesting as well. And there's also the area kind of between the future station and the hotel that I also need to work on. So yeah, but overall I'd say it feels like I've finished more than half of the surface area. Although I haven't mentioned it, but like when it comes to like the progress on this world, I'll only consider the surface area since that's where I mostly plan to build. You know, I don't really plan to build too much underground except for the research facilities since, you know, there's pretty much space given the fact that, or rather what I should say is that I don't plan to like what I'm kind of trying to say is that I'm not trying to like 100% this world, because one thing that I saw was like a video when someone like completed or finished Indev by digging out an entire Indev world and then just kind of filling it up back up with building. And you know, I don't plan to do it, so I don't plan to like have some large underground structures underground. You know, some large underground settlements and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm not sure if that speech made sense, but now it's time to continue working on this world. And it seems like the grass is spreading well. So I think I'm gonna remove that block so the grass can spread from over here. Now, what is the next thing that I want to work on? I guess I will add some more custom trees. And I will add them around the church. I think I'm gonna start by removing this tree over here. This will make it easier to build, or at least it should. Also, I haven't mentioned it, but I'm currently using an auto clicker to make things a bit faster for you and for me. Also, one of the things that I think I'm gonna do is expand the area around the church a bit. Also remove the tree. Also, I forgot to mention that this road wasn't actually built by me. It was built by Cylinder, if I remember correctly. He was the last one, and I don't think he was the last one to build in my world. I don't think I saw it in copies by the other people, other friends. Also, one thing I'll mention, even though no one is really here, is that like in the sort of middle of August I'll be going on a holiday, so I won't be streaming during that. Just FYI, even though no one is here. Anyway, now it is time to start building the trees, and I think for this thing I'm gonna make some tall ones, sort of. I feel like these will fit in nicely. Although maybe I should place the blocks kind of in the gaps between the windows, kind of, so you can see better of the recharge. So I've just decided to kind of expand this wall so that I can kind of make the terrain over here go kind of higher. Although this might take a bit longer than I expected, since I feel like I might need to extend it a bit more than I thought. And also add gravel underneath these. There we go. I can extend. I can extend the terrain and then continue working on the custom trees. Anyway, I feel like I should talk a bit more after all the whole point of these streams. But uh, one of the reasons why I wanted to do streams was that I could, so that I would talk a bit more. So I guess I could talk about the website that I've been working on. Like one of the, well, maybe I call it domain. I'm not sure what I call it. Also, I just noticed that my OBS set that I had 4 views, but now it dropped to 3 views once again, which is kind of weird. By the way, back to the website. One of the things that I kind of talk about there on one of the like separate websites is the Indev world, and the reason why I'm mentioning it is because it's one of the websites that I like want to work on a bit more. It's because the Indev world is finished, so the website won't be really expanded too much, or where like there'll be sort of no reason to add more content to it kind of in the future once I'm done with it. I might make like some modification and such like that, but the world won't be getting worked on anymore, so the world won't be getting done anymore. So like once I write down all of the description and I've got the screenshot, then there's like no need for me to really work on it too much, unless I like decide kind of modify the existing description, or just add some more screenshots or take these screenshots from different angles, if that makes sense. By the way, yeah, the Indev world, the website about the Indev world is something that I like to work on because I feel like it's been kind of neglected. I kind of like only did the basic description of the world, but haven't really done anything past that. So yeah, the Indev world is something that I like to work on too. I plan to do the same thing that I kind of did with the classic world, which is to kind of have a map that you can click, and it will like take you to some different sections. They will be described, and for each section there will of course be like a gallery showing that. Although the sections will probably be the individual builds, so for example like the storage system, the storage rooms, the tower, lighthouse, warehouse, the farms, the ship, and the dock, and also the wheat farm and beach area and the statue. And there are also like the other areas like the sort of garden at the top, above the storage system, and kind of the area around the shoreline where the printerworks are. Yeah, like this might be enough flowers for this area, and I think I will continue on this later on, maybe. Let's see, I don't think I want to build any more custom trees, so I think instead I think I will cut down these trees, since I don't think I want them here. Yeah, I think the next thing that I'm gonna do is remove some trees that I don't like, because I've noticed that some trees have grown in places where I don't want them, because some of the saplings that I planted during like the early versions when I didn't have access to the flowers have grown. Yeah, as I've said, I want to work on the Indev website a bit more, and I also want to add some more websites for the Experiencing Minecraft Infinite series, since there are still quite a few builds that I need to describe, because currently I kind of only have like the main website for the project, and also currently I've got like currently I got the main website which talks about the project, then I got the website about the house, and a website about the collection. I would still like to have a website which talks about the sort of greater base area that's kind of around the house. I decided to kind of have the recently I decided that the website about the house and the website about the base around it will be separate, since the description of the house took quite a lot of space. So yeah, I'm gonna need a website. What I'm trying to say is that I already have a website dedicated to the house. So next up I'm gonna add a website dedicated to the base. Then I will add a website dedicated to some miscellaneous builds, I think. And then a website dedicated to alright, I guess maybe like the tree farm without, the block farm without build, that could have its own website rather than, being with the miscellaneous builds. I think this tree could stay probably. And I won't be adding any flowers to this place, since back then I didn't have any flowers. Anyway, another website I could add is like miscellaneous projects, rather than miscellaneous series, to kind of describe them in greater detail, because currently I got them described on the main web page that I kind of worked on them, but I feel like that isn't enough. I'm thinking, should I remove these trees? Anyway, I think I'll add a website where I talk about the miscellaneous projects, miscellaneous series in a bit more detail, so like stuff like the crafting and classic plus series, the adventure in Indev plus series, and such things. I think I haven't yet fully decided on that, but anyway, what I have decided on is that I will keep these trees. I'm going to have fine. These trees are also fine. I think this one isn't tall enough, so I will remove it and replant it. Maybe one of these trees will grow a bit later. This should be also fine. These I might remove and build something here in the future, but for now I will keep them. Also, I just remembered there is one more thing that I wanted to work on, and I think I can do it in this stream. Maybe. Let's see. 1 and 44 minutes, so I think I will do it. And I think is to build a parking lot. But only after I'm walking around it. Seems like those leaves were require a long time. Also, this tree is kind of in the way. It's too low. I think I've accidentally also damaged this tree, so I'm gonna remove it while we made it and replant it. Maybe it will grow on it. Maybe it will grow once again, or some other trees will grow before it. Alright, this tree is also in the way. And this tree as well. I think these two should be fine. Anyway, before I go back, I would just like to take a look on the top of the lighthouse. Yeah, I must say this world is looking quite nice, which also looking at this place now, it reminds me that I would also like to work on this place a bit. Gonna make the ocean, this bay over here, look a bit better. You know, remove this grass and kind of make it a bit deeper and kind of extend the sand so that it would also go underwater. And also maybe work on this area. Anyway, time to teleport back. And the place where I want to build the parking lot that I've mentioned is next to the monorail station. So let's walk over there right now. And also I just realized that Classic doesn't have like the item dropping that you got in. I think it's added in Indev because I feel like I remember it when I've played in Indev. So I guess it was added sometime during Indev. What I was about to say is that one of the things I'm going to grab once I'm there is some stone, which I can grab using big block because I'm about to head over here. Let's see. Right, the parking lot. Sorry about that. The parking spots that I got here are 3 by 5. I'm gonna build them the same size over there. Just notice that these are too long. So what I'm gonna do is make this go like this, so that cars can like properly turn. And the parking spots will be kind of on that side. And the first thing that I'm gonna need to decide on is like how, well, I guess I can decide it while building. So, you know, I was about to say that I need to decide how large I want it to be, but you know, I can decide on it while building. Let's see how if I've done it here. Yeah. So it's 3 blocks. I guess I will do something similar. 3 blocks like that, maybe 4. And then I'm just gonna do this, and that. Also, I need some sand, and I'm gonna put the materials together. Also, how wide are the handicap spots? They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm gonna do. Oh, I think I'm only gonna do 1 handicap spot. That should be enough. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. That's that. 1 parking spot. 2 parking spots. 3. And I think that's all the space we have for the parking spots. Now it's time to start removing this grass and start placing in the stone and gravel. And I should also, I think I will also fill up this area with dirt and remove these trees. Yeah, that's something that I'm gonna do as well in this stream. I should have enough time to do all of these things. Also, I need to replicate the handicapped sign. Yeah, that's how we do it. So we need, let's see, oh, got a bit confused, so let's see one like that. Wait, I made it too thin. Yeah, whatever, I'm just gonna do that. Problem solved. Now for the stone. So there we go. And I'm just gonna remove the trees and place in the dirt. Which just makes me think that maybe I should like switch the mode for the auto clicker so that that's right click, you know, so that I be able to using it instead of breaking blocks. Yeah, I think I would do it just once I'm done with these trees. There we go, and I just switch. So let's see. Mouse button right. There we go. And now I build. Much better. Now you won't need to hear any clicking. And I don't want me to do any clicking, you know. I like this. And also do it a bit faster. So yeah, this link is doing things like this is better for everyone, I think. Also, one of the things that I wish we had, one of the blocks I wish we had access to in Classic was this grass, because as you saw earlier, when I was working on the adding the dirt around the apartment building, I had to like get some grass to spread to it, but it would have been much easier if I could just build it out of grass instead of having to get the grass to spread there. That would be quite nice. There, that's this. Also, I just realized I probably should have built the part that's in a shadow using the green wool, but I don't feel like replacing these blocks, so I guess it's fine. Also, I need to do this, so for that I'm of course gonna decide on the borders so I don't place too much dirt. Yeah, something like this should be good. So let's start placing. Also, I just remembered that. Since I'm building the parking lot, I should also build like a path towards the station, not towards the staircase. So that people can access it. Oh, it's over there, but say like I was thinking for a second, it cannot be elsewhere. Oh, for a second I was unsure. And also later on I'm gonna build like a path that goes from here over to the research facility that will be here in the future. So that way the employees can access it more easily. So that way they don't have to use just cars to get to their job. Anyway, I think this should be good enough for now, so let's take a look around. And yeah, as I've talked about earlier, there are still a lot of things that I want to work on in this. There's still a lot of area, which means that there's still a lot more work ahead of me for the future. And there are still a lot of things that I need to decide, and a lot of space for me to fill up, but that is something that I won't be working on in this stream as we are basically at 2 hours. So let's see, is there anything that I want to do more that I could do in a short span of time? I don't think there is. So I think just gonna spend the I'm just gonna spend whatever remains of this stream by just walking around looking at this world, so you can kind of get an idea of how it looks. I feel like I've already done one loop before this, but that's fine. Well, yeah, as I've said, there is still a little more work that needs to be done in this world, which will be done in the future, because that will be it for this stream, and I will be seeing you in the next one.